Hey there, it's Linda, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about 5 graduate school application mistakes that you want to avoid and how to fix them. So this video is actually a continuation of another video I made about application mistakes. So if you want to hear about those other mistakes, then I'll link part 1 in the description down below for you. The most common mistake that a lot of students make is not applying soon enough and starting your application too late. So it is mid-September now, so it's a great time to get started if you haven't already. Grad school applications can seem difficult and stressful, and a lot of students procrastinate because they might think that they won't be successful at getting in, they might still be unsure about their decision to go to grad school, or they might just find it so overwhelming and like a lot of work to do. And it kind of is in a sense, but it is so important to get started early. And there's a lot of reasons why. For example, if you try to apply too close to the deadline, there might be a lot of other people on the website, and of course, sometimes websites crash and you might not be able to submit your application on time. And of course, there's other technical issues that can come up. A good rule of thumb is try to apply about a week in advance, or at least a few days before if you can. Most programs also require you to write a graduate entrance exam, such as the GRE, the LSAT, the MCAT, or others, and it might take you a few tries to get a really good score on these tests. Doing these tests is going to require a lot of studying and preparation so you can get the best score possible. Some schools, they might also have some funding opportunities where the deadline is sooner than the actual deadline for the graduate school application. In that case, you definitely want to know what the deadlines are and make sure to apply early so you can get that funding, because who doesn't want to get funding for grad school? Lastly, some schools also have rolling admissions where you can apply at any point and the school will continue to accept students until the program is full. In this case, you definitely want to apply as soon as you can to ensure that you get a spot in that program. Another mistake that you want to avoid is not knowing why you're applying to graduate school and why you're applying to that specific program. Before you apply to graduate school, you want to make goals and make a plan for yourself. And you want to ask yourself some specific questions as well, such as what am I hoping to accomplish? What do I want out of the next 2 to 6 years of my life? And really ask yourself, is graduate school the right option for me at this time? Or should I be doing something else, such as getting work experience in my field? Of course, I'll tell you that graduate school is great because I am in graduate school and it was the right option for me. But sometimes it might not be the right option for you or might not be right for you at this time in your life. So once you realize what your why is, you can really tailor your application to that specific program and probably be more successful in your applications. And if you're unsure about specific program that you want to apply to, it's always a good idea to reach out to an advisor or even to the professor that you're thinking of working with, so you can get more information about the program and know what to expect when you apply. The next mistake that you want to avoid is reusing the same application essay for every school that you apply to. Between all the applications that you submit for different programs, there will be some overlap, but you also want to make sure to tailor your personal statement and your research statement to the specific school and program that you're applying to. While your reasons and motivations and experience will not change, you definitely want to talk about how you're passionate about working in those different labs with different supervisors and emphasize different things about different programs. The reason that you want to make separate applications is because number 1, this will increase your chances of getting accepted because the admissions committee will see that you're interested in their specific program and not just any program in that field. And number 2, this will ensure that you're not submitting the wrong application to the wrong school. So if you do that, the admissions committee is not going to think very highly of you, and it's going to decrease your chances of getting into their school. So definitely make sure you submit the right application to the right school. One mistake that I made when applying for graduate school was submitting materials in the wrong format. For my counseling program, I had to submit either a DVD or USB of a recording of me doing a mock counseling session. So I ended up submitting a DVD, but when the admissions committee got it, they're actually not able to open the file and view the recording. So I really should have checked if the file would open and play on a different computer. Fortunately, the admissions committee did end up letting me know about this, and I was able to send them an email copy of the video. But this actually didn't look that great to the admissions committee because for all they knew, not all my application materials were submitted on time. So I ended up getting waitlisted for the program, and unfortunately I never got into the program in the end. And I'm not really sure if that was the reason, but it's definitely possible. So I definitely recommend making sure that you're submitting your documents in the right format. So for example, if they ask for a PDF, then definitely give them a PDF. And make sure you send files that can be opened on any computer. Usually, you also want to avoid putting a password on your files unless they're specifically asking for that. So this will ensure that they can view all your application materials in a timely manner and make an informed decision about your application. The last application mistake that you want to avoid is saying anything that would be seen as negative or inappropriate in your application. Basically, anything that would make the admissions committee think twice about you as an applicant. For example, you want to avoid blaming other people for your failures and your academic record. Generally, you won't be mentioning your academic record at all, but if you do decide to do that, then you definitely want to focus on the positive aspects of that experience and talk about things that you learned or how it inspired your research interests. You also want to avoid speaking negatively about any professors that you had or any schools that you went to in the past, even if you had a negative experience. This is going to be seen as a red flag to the admissions committee because they're going to think that you'll likely speak poorly about them and their program in the future as well. Of course, you also want to avoid lying on your application because this is really setting yourself up for failure and you're likely going to be expelled from the program if you get into it in the first place. Just be honest. You also want to avoid making any jokes or using any slang or cliches in your application essays because this is probably not going to translate very well in written word and it's probably going to be seen as unprofessional. When in doubt, just stick to academic language. You also don't want to do what's known as name dropping, which is when you mention people that you know who are well known in academia or people like celebrities or politicians, unless it somehow relates to the narrative that you're mentioning in your personal statement. You can definitely mention that you worked with so-and-so professor in their lab in your personal or research statement because that's probably going to be relevant and expected and probably going to be related to your research interests. In most cases, just focus on what you can offer to the program as a student and as a scholar rather than mentioning people that you know who are well known in the field. Alright, so I hope that gives you some idea about graduate school application mistakes that you want to avoid. And if you're in the process of applying to graduate school right now, then you might find this playlist helpful where I talk more about the process of applying, personal statements, and letters of recommendation. And if you're looking for more videos about how to navigate through college and beyond, then definitely be sure to subscribe for more videos. So wish you all the best in your grad school applications, and thank you so much for watching today. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye!